Okay, let's get into that. We talked back then in episode 11 about your views on policing and why my question was why you thought some of the things in the country were happening the way they were. It seems to be not unique to any one community. And you had some pretty strong views on policing back then. Have your views changed or have they matured?
No, I would say they've matured. My views have not changed, and the values of law enforcement have not changed. The values of service, integrity, and professionalism are there. It is now the way that we make those things present in our community, go about ensuring that we're living up to those values that the community expects of us. It's been operationalized in a way that comes through so that we are not just relying on our good name in law enforcement. We're actually demonstrating that we're living up to those values. My views haven't changed. Some of my views have been actually more solidified, if you will, and believe for a very long time that the authority that's granted law enforcement from the public has to be given to those that are worthy of it, those that have the right temperament, personality, compassion for people, in addition to courage to stand and be in a way to protect people. And when we don't invest right in the training and development of our law enforcement officers, recruit and retain the best and the brightest people in our community, you can see how the stress of this type of job can result in tragedy.
Mm.
I still believe that. I will always believe that, which is why I think we're very blessed here in Kent. Our officers get exceptional training, get exceptional support here.
Mm. So we had at that time you talked about we had some of the tragedies going on as well, but you talked about some of the things that you've been doing. What are some of the things that you've done specifically in the department since then to try to ensure the things that you just spoke about?
There's been so many things. I'm worried you're not going to have enough time on this podcast, but let me touch on the on some of the highlights. First, we really took a long, hard look at our operations, our policies, the way we conducted business from top to bottom, and overlaid that with a an important focus on were we doing things equitably and without discrimination? Were we serving in a fair and impartial way? Were we allowing our personal biases to permeate how we did things and how we served? And so that was a very long process. I stood up a new position. We have a inclusion officer currently. That's Officer Eric Doherty. He's got college degrees related to this field. He's an exceptional ambassador, and I elevated him to the office of the chief, so he works directly for me.
Mm.
And so he has gone through all of our policies, our hiring procedures, our training, and has really brought that lens and input from the community directly,
Mm.
along with our longstanding network of community groups that advise us and tell us what we should know and how we should do things. So I would say that we started with our policy and operations. The second part was our hiring. We were like all law enforcement agencies probably in the country, where the demographic hire every year was over 70% white male. And there's nothing on white males, great police officers, but we weren't really living up to the goal of representing our community to the best of our ability. Let's face it, not
Mhm.
everybody wants to be a cop,
Right.
right? So it's easy to say, oh, you should look more like your community. A lot of our community won't have anything to do with police
Right.
work. So we have to break through that. But we put huge investments in our recruiting and hiring. We got strong support from the mayor and the council in terms of our salary and benefit package is the best in the state,
Mm.
which makes us one of the best in the country.
Okay.
So we really put our money where our mouth is and went out there. And I'm very proud to look back and see that for 2022 and 2023, over 50% of the people we hired represented communities.
Wow,
Um,
that's good.
and historic highs in terms of hiring women, really exceptional. So that's one. And the last thing I'll hit on is that we really elevated our capturing and analysis of to understand we really knew what was going on through our body worn camera programs, to our drone programs, to our fixed cameras, really elevating how intensely we examined and reviewed what our people were doing to ensure they were meeting up to our standards. There, that has opened a lot of things,
Hmm.
including working with the union in terms of process and discipline, but also it's opened our eyes to we do some incredible work out there too.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be able to tell that story.